Hello and welcome to this lesson on multiplying polynomials. So we saw in the last lesson adding and subtracting polynomials. Now we get to multiplying. The central question says, how do I multiply polynomials? Okay, fairly straightforward again. Find the mistakes in the problem. So go ahead and pause the video, maybe attempt to do it right and see if we can find where the mistakes happened. All right, so if I was doing this problem, here's what I would do. Oopsie, a little much. I would add my 1 here. I would distribute this. That would give me negative 2x minus 5x squared plus 5 minus 2x cubed. I would still have this 3x squared plus 5x minus 6 out front. Then I would start combining my like terms, starting with the highest exponent first being this guy right here. So that would give me a negative 2x cubed. Already I see a difference. Then my x squareds, I would have this one and this one, giving me a negative 2x squared. Another difference. Then I would look at my x's. I've got 5 and minus 2, giving me negative, not negative, positive 3x. And then finally my constants, negative 11 and positive 5 would give me a negative 1. Now, as far as why the mistake happened, it looked like, a lot of the numbers, like the x's, 5x and 2x, do make a 7x if the signs were right. It looks like they forgot about this minus sign and they just combined 5 and 2 to get 7. Negative 6 and negative 5 got negative 11. Positive 3 and positive 2 got, positive 3 and positive 5 got a positive 8. So they didn't really pay attention to the minus sign in the original problem. All right, vocabulary. FOIL. You'll hear this word used a lot. It's a way of multiplying two binomials together, two things that have two terms. So boom, 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 like 3x plus 5 and 2x minus 8, something like that. Like that is two binomials that are being multiplied together. And what FOIL is, it's an acronym. It's a way of helping you remind you how to multiply this. So it stands for first, outer, inner, lasts. Meaning, you multiply the first term, so the first one of each. So this first one times this first one. Then you would multiply the outside. I'll make everything nice and pretty and color-coded. Then you'd multiply the inner. I'll move this down a little bit so you got more space. Inner, the ones that are closest on the inside here. Green. And then finally, you'd multiply the last ones together. Now, I'll be honest with you, in my adult life, I don't really care for this acronym FOIL. It doesn't mean a whole lot to me. There's other ways of doing this that I think make more sense to most students. Okay, I think of FOIL as the distributive property, because that's really what it is. Look, we're going to take this first term and multiply by everything in the second set of parentheses. Then we take the second piece and multiply by everything in the second set of parentheses. So it's just distributing a couple times. That makes much more sense in my brain, and the students I've showed this to, it makes much more sense for them as well. And there's lots of times where FOIL, if you follow like this exact acronym, won't work, but as long as you're thinking of it as the distributive property, it continues to work. Okay, so the first few here is we're multiplying a monomial, that's a one-termed thing, here he is, and a polynomial, that's a many, poly means many, a many-termed thing. So this is just going to build up our understanding of how to multiply. So I'm going to distribute. I'm going to take the outside piece times by each of the inside pieces. So the first one, 4x squared times by 2x squared. I'm going to get 8. That's the 4 times the 2. And x squared times x squared is x to the 4th power. We added our exponents. That was way back from our exponent properties. X squared times by x squared. 2 powers of the same base. You multiply them together and add the exponents. Moving on. 4x squared times by a negative 3x. Well, I'm going to get a negative 12. That's the number part. And an x cubed. X squared times x the first is x cubed. Now I'm going to multiply the 4x squared times by the 5. That gives me a 20 as the number part. And since he doesn't have any x's, the x squareds from this first term just come along for the ride. And most of you probably could have figured that part out or guessed as much looking at the problem. You may not have remembered about adding the exponents when you multiply powers together, but now you do. Distribute, ba-doom, ba-doom. Positive 3m to the 4th. Negative times negative is positive. 3 times 1 is 3. M to the first times m cubed is m to the 4th, and we don't need the plus sign out front. Okay, negative 3 times by positive 8 is a negative 24. M times m is m squared. Negative 3 times by negative 2 is a positive 6. And m to the first power times by nothing else is just m to the first power. And that's done. Okay, so we're distributing. Here's 2 for you to try. So why don't you go ahead and pause the video, try these 2 on your own. When you're ready to continue, hit play, and we'll go through them together. All right, letter C. Now, distributive property, I'm going to go that way. I could take this times by this and this times by this and go from left to right, but I like this way better. The one-term thing times by the multi-term thing. We're going to get the same answer either way. So we're going to get 9x to the 5th power minus 15x cubed. 3 times 3 is 9. X squared and x cubed is x to the 5th. 3 times by negative 5 is negative 15, and x cubed comes along for the ride. Letter D, boom, boom, boom. Negative 2h to the 7th power plus 4h to the 6th power minus 6h to the 5th power. And that's it. Just multiplying negative 1h to the 5th power times by each of them. So FOIL and FOIL-like. So now we don't have a monomial out front. We have a binomial, 2-termed thing, times by another binomial. So when we multiply, again, I think of this as the distributive property. So I'm going to take the x and distribute it. That gives me x cubed plus 6x. All right? X times x squared is x cubed. 6 times x is 6x. And then I'm going to take my negative 5 and distribute it, giving me negative 5x squared minus 30. And then lastly, I'm going to take my new expression and combine like terms if I can, rearrange it if I must, just basically simplify my answer. So there's nothing to combine. Each of the variables has a different exponent, but I can do a little rearrange. These two are backwards. We like the bigger exponent first. So my final answer would be x cubed minus 5x squared plus 6x minus 30. distributive. And this is FOIL, by the way. I multiplied the first ones together, then the outer ones, then the inner ones, then the last one. So this is that acronym FOIL, but I like it better as the distributive property. It makes more sense. It's something I'm more familiar with. Okay. I'm going to distribute that piece first, giving me 20, ooh, that's not 20, 28, my hand was working faster than my mouth or brain, 28m to the 5th power minus 24m to the 2nd power and now I'm going to distribute that minus 21m to the 3rd power plus 18. Combine, rearrange, simplify. In general, simplify. So 28m to the 5th minus 21m cubed minus 24m squared plus 18 is our final answer. Nothing combined together again. In a lot of polynomials we're going to see later on, the middle two terms, these two terms, will combine together. Not always, but a lot of times they do. So far, we haven't seen one of those, but I'm sure we will in this lesson. Now, we have a FOIL-like. So this already breaks FOIL, because we can't multiply the first ones, and then the outer ones, and then the inner ones, and then the last ones, because there's more than two terms here. So that's where the distributive property, understanding that I'm just going to distribute this to everything over there, and then distribute the next piece to everything over there, and then I'm going to distribute the next piece to everything over there. That process still works. That's why I like the distributive property. So starting with the red, starting with the 2x squared. So 2x squared times by 4x is 8x to the 3rd power. 2x squared times by minus 3 is minus 6x squared. Changing to blue. 5x times by 4x is 20x squared. X times x is x squared. 5x times by minus 3 is a minus 15x. And magenta. Negative 1 times by 4x is a negative 4x. And finally, negative 1 times by negative 3 is a positive 3. Now, there's got to be something here we can combine together. So let's see. This is the only x cubed, so he's just going to stay 8x cubed. I do see I have 2x squareds here. So when I combine them together, a negative 6 and a positive 20 is a positive 14x squared. I see I've got two x's. They're the same sign, so I'm going to add them up, giving me negative 19x. And finally, that 3 just comes along for the ride. And there's my answer. All right, so I've done a few now. Chance for you to get your chance to try. So why don't you start with this one? Go ahead and pause the video. Multiply these two polynomials together. When you're ready to continue, hit play, and we'll go through it together. All right, so let's see. Starting with this, giving us 2x to the 5th minus 12x cubed. Then we got dunk and dunk, negative 2x cubed plus 12x. And then lastly, we have plus x squared minus 6. combining together. There's only one x to the fifth power that I see. There are two x cubes. That gives me a minus 14x cubed. Remember, when you're adding and subtracting, your exponents don't change. Your exponents stay the same. The only thing that changes is the coefficient, the number in front of the variables. I only have one x squared. I only have one x. And I only have one constant. So there's my final answer. 2x to the fifth minus 14x cubed plus x squared plus 12x minus 6. All right. Here's another one for you to try. It's going to be a lot of practice now. Now we know the ideas, it's just going to be practice. So go ahead and pause the video and try this one on your own. When you're ready to continue, hit play, and we'll go through it together. All right, so we got those two, giving us m squared plus 5m. We have those two, giving us negative 3m minus 15. And there we can see those middle two terms combining together, like I said, frequently happens, giving us our solution of m squared plus 2m minus 15. Okay, now this, what we're doing is we're basically simplifying the polynomial. Okay, we multiplied these together, and then we're simplifying. Letter F is for me. All right, so let's do it. Well, distribute here gives me j to the third power minus 8j squared. Distribute here gives me negative 4j plus 32. Combine that all together, we got... Actually, we don't need to do a darn thing. I was looking, nothing combines, and the exponents are already in order from the largest down to the smallest. So that's done. Hey, lucky me. Okay. 2 for you. I believe these might be the last two. There might be one more. We'll see. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video, try these two right now. When you're ready to continue, hit play, and we'll do them together. All right. Oh, we'll keep with red, I guess. All right, so we got boom, boom, 6p to the fifth power minus 2p to the fourth power. And let's move this down so I can do some rainbows down here. We got negative 12p to the fourth power plus 4p to the third power. Combining stuff together, I can combine my middle terms together here. They're both p to the fourths. So 6p to the fifth minus 14p to the fourth plus 4p cubed is our final answer. Boom, boom, boom. 2x to the fourth minus 4x squared minus 1x. I'm not going to put the 1. There's a 1 there, but I'm not going to put it. And then move him down because I never give myself enough space. And I'm going to draw my rainbows this way, giving me negative 10x to the third power, positive 20x plus 5. Okay, so I've got 6 terms that I can combine together, possibly. There is only one x to the fourth power. There is only one x to the third power. There is only one x squared. There are 2 x to the first power. So that's going to give me a positive 19x. Negative 1 plus 20 is positive 19. And there is only one constant plus 5. So there we have it. If you messed up somewhere along the way, maybe go back and pause the video and rewind to the beginning of the problem and run through it again to make sure you understand what's going on here. I betcha this is the last one of this type. Okay, but it's also the longest. So take your time and do the problem correctly. When you're ready to continue, hit play, and we'll go through it together. All right, so when you first multiply, you're going to have 9 different terms that we're then going to combine together. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we should have 2x to the 4th plus 3x cubed minus 3x squared. We'll do purple. I've done purple in a while. Oops. I meant to move them down. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. That gives us negative 2x to the 3rd power. Nope, I'm wrong. My brain's not in it. Let me try it again. Negative 4x cubed minus 6x squared plus 6x. Now, I'm going to strategically move this over, not only to save space because I can't fit it all, but I'm strategically doing this because you see I'm actually putting the like things together. Black. Boom, boom, boom. That gives me 10x squared plus 15x minus 15. Now, the way I strategically did this is we can just literally add straight up and down now. Make sure you keep everything lined up. So that's going to be a 2x to the 4th minus 1x cubed. I'm not going to put the 1. But that's negative 9. Positive 1 gives me a positive 1x squared plus 21x minus 15. I think all looks good there. Okay, so there was 9 different terms. I normally don't do this. I would have it just one spread out way across the page and then start picking off pieces, but we should get the same answer. This is just a slightly different way of writing it, just to save some space. Applications. The dimensions of a rectangle are x plus 5 and x minus 2. All right, so x plus 5, x minus 2. Which expression represents the area of this rectangle? Okay, think. How do you find the area of a rectangle? What's the formula for that? Area equals length times width. So the area would be x plus 5 times by x minus 2. Length times width. And now we're going to distribute, or multiply, FOIL, whatever you want to do. That gives me x squared minus 2x plus 5x minus 10. And then when we combine everything back together, x squared plus 3x, that's my middle terms combined together, minus 10. Do we have one of those? Why, yes we do. Letter C right here. Ooh, one for you. A rectangular pool has dimensions of 3x squared and x squared minus 5x. Which polynomial represents the area of the pool? Why don't you go ahead and pause the video and do this on your own right now. All right, so using the same strategies before, area equals length times width, we're going to get area equals 3x squared times by x squared minus 5x. And then you're going to multiply, and we're going to get 3x to the fourth minus 15x cubed as our area. And actually, it looked like it's right there, letter D. Now, before we started the problem, or before we got too far, there's definitely things you can eliminate. Or maybe once you've multiplied, like, I mean, you shouldn't get an x to the fifth. I mean, multiplying a 2 times by 2 is going to give you a fourth. So we know it couldn't be that one. Multiplying an x squared times by an x there's no way you're going to get an x to the first power. So there's little things like that you got to watch out for, that they all kind of looked similar, but I mean, minus sign, plus sign, this exponent. So make sure you're being extra careful, because they're trying to trick you, and your job is to not be tricked. All right, it says here a football field is 120 yards long, that would include the end zones, and 53 yards wide. There is a walkway that will border two sides, as shown in the diagram. Write a polynomial that represents the area of the field and the walkway together. What is the area of the field and walkway if the walkway is 2 yards wide? So at the beginning of the problem, we don't know how big the walkway is going to be. So this side would just be 53 plus x big. And this side would be 120 plus x big. So we want to find the area of that, or write a polynomial that represents the area. So just like we did in the previous few problems, area equals length times width. So we have a 53 plus x times by, was it 120 plus x? And then we do our beautiful math distributing here, giving us, oh, I don't know what 53 times 120 is. 6,360 plus 53x, boom, ba-doom, plus 120x plus x squared. Now, it would be good if we would simplify this a little bit. Things are out of order. The biggest exponent's last. We like it first. So everything's actually in reverse order. But also, these two middle terms can be combined together. So you should get x squared plus 173x plus 6,360. So that is a polynomial that represents the area of the field and walkway combined, before we knew how big the walkway was. Now, once you know how big the walkway is, it says here that the walkway is going to be 2 yards. Okay, what if the area of the walkway, or what is the area of the walkway, the field and the walkway, if the walkway is 2 yards wide? So now that we know that x is going to be 2, we can actually plug that in to our problem and find out. So if x is 2, so this is answer number 1, by the way. If x is 2, 173 times by 2 plus 6,360, we get, I don't know, I'm going to type that in a calculator. 2 squared, which is just 4, plus 173 times by 2 plus 6,360 equals 6,710. And that would be, ooh, not feet, that would be yards squared. So that would be answer number 2. Once we know how big the walkway is, we can just substitute it right in and do it. This should also be the same thing you get if you, once you know this is 2, if you did 55, right? 53 plus 2 is 55, times by 122, 120 plus 2 for the walkway. See, we got the same answer. This is just using our polynomial we already came up with. Different strategies, they both work. I'm fine with either. Summary. How do I multiply polynomials? Give a quick little summary, a quick little rundown, what we went through in this lesson. How do you multiply polynomials? What do you do? Okay, you do things like the distributive property. You multiply, let me find that one. You multiply each piece of the first polynomial times by each piece of the second polynomial. So I distributed the first piece here times by everything there. Then I multiplied the second piece times by everything there. Then I multiplied the third piece times by everything there. That gets rid of your parentheses, and you have one big ugly expression. Then you go through and you combine like terms, and you rewrite the expression if needed. If your stuff is out of order, you can rewrite it. Somewhere there was one where that happened. Oh yeah, right here. This one we were just doing. After we multiplied, our expression was out of order. The x squared was last, and it should have been first. So just after you've multiplied, simplify the expression to the best of your ability. And that's it. That's really the only thing you have to worry about with multiplying is distributive property and then simplifying your expression. And the simplifying is the addition and subtraction we learned in the previous lesson. All right. Thank you so much for watching this lesson on multiplying polynomials. Until next time, toodles.